I myself have a complicated relationship with self-help and productivity advice. In the past, I've been a student of all of the great quotes and all of the advice that you receive on the internet. But nowadays, I think they can actually create the opposite in your life. They can actually bring you down. They can actually make you frustrated about your own life. And so I decided to talk about life advice and how I regard it today and what should you try and get from it. The quote that I want to discuss today is the phrase, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." The obsession with people, defining their circle in their lives and only engaging with the people that actually support them in their goals. To start off, I think it's a valuable idea. If you have goals, you should, distance yourself from people that actively bring you down. I think that's a sound advice. But what should you take from that as an author? Because as an author, you are trying to come up with stories that reflect reality, that reflect real interaction between people. And so you should be fully aware of every kind of person, even the people that you wouldn't surround yourself with. So if you build a circle of people who only support you in your goals, is it really positive? I'm not trying to say here that you should actively engage with the negative people or, you are trying to write a crime book and you should actively engage with criminals. That's not what I'm talking about. But still, I think there is some calm, some relief you get from this perspective on this quote if you see everything that happens on an interpersonal level within your life. If you take it as, that's experience that will help me in my writing. If you have a problematic interaction with your neighbor, for example, we all face these problems, and even the people who take the advice and only surround themselves with people that support them in their goals, each and every one of us has these types of experience. That's the case without a doubt. How we can frame this is that as a writer, each and every experience will support you in your writing because the feeling that you have, this is the feeling that you might be able to later transform into a story. If you feel sad, this sadness you feel right now is something that you can transport to the audience. That's actually what the audience wants you to do, is make them feel what you can feel, what you as a writer can feel, but what we as a humanity are able to experience. That's what people want to see in your writing. It is not the case that we only want to feel positive emotion. There's also a large demand for, negative emotions if you look at horror and the success of horror fiction. So instead of trying to cultivate, or instead of obsessing with cultivating a circle of people that only support you in your life, you can do that, but don't obsess about it. Welcome in the people that not fit this criteria, that not fit in your life, that don't support you necessarily. Don't actively move yourself into experience that will probably turn out to be negative. But if there's something arising that might be problematic, take it in and regard it as something that you can improve on. Regard it as something that will help your writing in the long run. You need to understand how reality works to create fictional reality.